Hey, 59th Street Church, it's Pastor Andy. I wanted to just share a couple things with you. Some of you received an email that I sent earlier this week sharing about some updates of upcoming things. And one of those is that I'm going to be going on sabbatical this summer. I'll be taking a 3-month leave from our church ministry. This is something that I began talking about with our elder board just about a year ago, having completed 8 years at our church. This past February, our church policy allows a pastor to take a 3-month sabbatical after having served for 7 years. And so I have been planning to do that over the last year and shared that with our annual business meeting this past January. But as COVID hit, I also was wrestling with whether to continue to do that and how the church would feel about that. And so I brought that question to our elders and also to our broader joint board. And over the last few weeks, they have felt that actually this summer would be a good summer for me to take a sabbatical. One of those reasons being that we won't be having youth works, the youth groups that come and stay at our church throughout the summer, which is often something that's very busy happening in our church building, but that won't be happening this summer because of COVID. So in some ways, this summer would be not a bad summer for me to be gone, since we won't be dealing with those dynamics. Also, as we've just been continuing to monitor the situation here in New York City, we realize that that it's probably going to still be a while before we're able to really meet in person, especially given some of our own constraints about. We usually meet in our church basement during the summer because it's air conditioned and our main sanctuary is not. That's a much smaller space, and so trying to start up in-person services in that space might be a little more challenging. And so we are planning to continue with online services over the coming weeks, probably through the remainder of the summer. And our hope is that by September, we'll be able to gather again in person as we continue to monitor things. But because of that, we realized that actually it might be a little bit easier to find guest preachers who would be willing to share video sermons with us that we could use over the summer. And actually, in some ways, again, this summer might be a good summer for me to be gone rather than having to schedule a lot of in-person guest preachers, which would be a lot more challenging, especially during this current situation. So we're going to be that's sort of the plan. I'm going to be beginning my sabbatical on June 15th, and that will extend through about September 15th. And so I will be back at that point. Also, over the next 2 weeks, I'm actually going to be still working until June 15th, but I'm going to be doing that remotely. My family and I are going to be driving out to Minnesota. Actually, we're leaving tomorrow, Saturday. Part of the reason for that is being able to be with my parents who could help with our kids. It's been a little challenging the past month having a newborn and juggling our kids' remote learning and also trying to work from home. It's been challenging. And so we decided that we wanted to go out to Minnesota so that my parents could help us with that for these last 2 weeks as I work remotely. And then I'll be beginning my sabbatical on June 15th while we're out in Minnesota. So this is my last kind of greeting to you from here in Brooklyn, from our church, from my office. I'm going to be continuing to lead our Zoom calls over the next 3 Sundays and preaching as well. And I'll be available again over the next 2 weeks. But just wanted to send a quick greeting to you all today. Please invite you to pray for me and my family as we begin this drive tomorrow. We will be taking a break on Sunday to actually be able to do the Zoom service and just to have a day of a break from driving. But then we'll be picking up the rest of the driving on Monday to get to Minnesota. So please, we appreciate your prayers for our safety and also just prayers for these next couple weeks as we make sure that everything is ready for me to go on sabbatical, and that and pray for Brandon and for our other leaders as they are preparing for my absence during this summer as well. I'm going to be sharing more about the sabbatical and some of the hopes that I have for it with you all in the next couple Sundays before I leave on my sabbatical. But I just wanted to say that I'm just grateful for you as a church for giving me as your pastor an opportunity to take a break and to rest and to recharge, especially after really an intense season over the last few months. but also just the wear of ministry over 8 years here. I'm grateful for the chance to take a break. But also, I want you to be assured that part of this break is not just for me, but it's also for you. This will hopefully empower me to be even a better pastor, and to have some refreshness and invigoration as I return into ministry this fall. And my hope is that God would continue to use me here at 59th Street in Brooklyn for many, many more years, as long as God continues to call us here, as long as you continue to affirm that call to me as your pastor. But in order for that to happen, I think there needs to be this season of rest too. And my prayer is that it will also be a good growing thing for you as a congregation, that as we go through this season, that there'll be opportunities for others' voices to come and to lead, and also to trust in the leading of the Holy Spirit, as we've been talking about over the last couple Sundays. That the Holy Spirit is with you as a congregation, and will lead you and encourage you during this period of time as well. So this message has gotten quite a bit longer than I had originally anticipated, but just wanted to share some of those thoughts with you before we leave on our drive to Minnesota tomorrow. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you all this Sunday on our Sunday Zoom call at 10:30. I'll be on that. And also, again, I'll be available for the next couple weeks until June 15th. But thank you again. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.